They laughed off my invoice, questioned how I spent my time, and refused to pay for one single hour of work. So I walked away. Months later, they were begging. And today, I flipped the switch that cost them everything. If you've ever been disrespected, undervalued, or treated like your time didn't matter, subscribe right now. Like this video because this story is about quiet revenge, professional revenge, and the kind of justice that doesn't shout, it just works. Let's get into it. I want to start with something simple, something most people don't learn until it hurts. Never let someone else dictate your value. I'd been working with this client for a long time. Years, long enough that the relationship felt stable, predictable, almost boring in a good way. We knew each other's rhythms. I delivered. They paid. No drama. Then everything changed. Over the past year, they went through multiple personnel and management changes. New faces, new titles, new egos. And with those changes came a shift in attitude that I felt almost immediately. Emails got colder. Meetings got shorter. Decisions were suddenly made without me in the room. I told myself not to take it personally. That's business, right? New management wants to put their stamp on things. Fine. I kept my head down and did my job until she showed up. One of the new hires, let's call her Amanda, joined a Zoom meeting that should have been routine. Instead, it turned into something else entirely. Halfway through the call, an issue came up, a problem that very clearly was caused by her team. I had receipts, logs, documentation, the kind of evidence you don't even need to raise your voice over. But Amanda didn't care. She cut me off mid-sentence, talked over me, dismissed my explanation with a wave of her hand and a tone that said, "You're the help. Know your place." I remember sitting there, jaw clenched, staring at my muted microphone. My heart wasn't racing, it was sinking. That heavy, familiar feeling of being disrespected while being expected to stay polite. I stayed professional. I always do. But something cracked. After that meeting, I noticed a pattern. I wasn't being consulted anymore. Decisions were made without my input. Problems I used to be looped into early were now dropped on me at the last minute, if at all. Again, I told myself that's life. Companies change, people move on. Then one day, my inbox lit up. New management needed help. Urgently. They asked for my expertise on a specific issue, the same one Amanda's team had caused. Something that would take time, focus, and experience to solve. So I did what any professional does. I quoted them 1 hour of my time. Not a crazy amount. Not a ransom. Just a clean, reasonable fee for an hour of specialized work. That's when the disrespect went from subtle to loud. Instead of approving it, they pushed back. Hard. They questioned how I tracked my time. Asked where my time was really going. Implied, without saying it outright, that I was inflating my hours or wasn't worth the rate. Reading that email, I felt heat crawl up my neck. Not explosive anger, something colder, more controlled. They weren't asking questions. They were testing boundaries, and when I stood firm, they refused to pay. So I did the only thing that preserved my dignity. I ghosted them. No angry reply. No back and forth. No explanations. Just silence. At first, it felt strange, almost wrong, like I was supposed to justify myself, defend my worth. But then the emails started coming. 1, 2, sometimes 3 a week. Just circling back. Following up on the request below. Please advise. My phone rang. Voicemail after voicemail. Numbers I recognized. Numbers I didn't. I didn't answer a single one. Weeks passed. Then months. The silence was doing something interesting. It was shifting the power. Eventually, their tone changed. The defensiveness vanished. The entitlement softened. And one day, buried in my inbox was the email I'd been waiting for. They agreed to pay. They asked for the invoice. And that's when I said, no. Not out loud. Not in an email. Just no. Because here's the thing about respect. Once someone shows you they don't have it for you, you don't owe them access anymore. Around that time, things took an even stranger turn. They found me on social media, liked posts, viewed stories, tried to connect. That was the moment I blocked them. Not out of spite, out of clarity. Then I did something very deliberate. I sent them an invoice for a completely different fee, a long-established annual recurring cost, one they'd paid every year before without complaint, a license that allowed them to keep operating smoothly. In the email, I was calm, professional, precise. I explained that non-payment would result in the license being revoked. No threats, no emotion, just terms. They refused to pay. But at the same time, they pleaded with me again about the original problem, the one they could have solved months ago for the cost of 1 hour. This time, I didn't even consider responding, and today I revoked their license. No announcement, no warning beyond what they'd already received, just action. The system did exactly what it was designed to do, and now they're stuck. Stuck with the original problem, stuck without the license they need, stuck dealing with the consequences of underestimating someone they thought they could bully. As for me, I didn't feel giddy. I didn't celebrate. I felt calm. The kind of calm that comes when you finally stop explaining your worth to people who never planned to respect it anyway. They wasted months arguing over nothing, quibbling over a small fee, posturing, playing power games. All they had to do was pay. If you want someone's work, you pay them. You don't interrogate their time. You don't demean their role. And you definitely don't assume they need you more than you need them. I hope you and your colleagues are reading this, Amanda, because actions have consequences. And sometimes the quietest revenge is simply letting people experience the full weight of their own choices. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been undervalued or disrespected, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the reminder. And tell me in the comments what's the most satisfying professional revenge you've ever seen. Because trust me, the best ones don't shout. They just end the conversation